Hello everyone, this is Roxas1359, welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker. Anyway, it seems that we are at the Forsaken Fortress now, and apparently Tetra wants us to go and see something. Well, guess what? I do what I want, and what I want to do is talk to all these people, starting with you. Yeah, the test was really easy. I managed to do it my first try. Something's telling me that's not going to be the case later in the game. Yeah, and that was pretty much record time, because this fortress is on the other side of the world. Hey, I do what I want. And there's one more person I want to talk to, just because I want to talk to people. Yeah, I don't really do this too much in the game. I will be doing it a little bit, just for some flavor text, because a lot of this stuff is missable, quite obviously. But, let's go and climb up this very tall ladder and get to Tetra. Surprisingly, it's not the tallest ladder, I think, in the game. I think the one on Ariel's Lookout's a little bit taller, but dang, this is a tall ladder. Nothing. Would you be mad if I said yes? Yeesh. Talk about tight security. Huh, so this used to be owned by someone else. Who were these people? You will never know, because the game will never, ever elaborate on that. Which kind of made me sad, because I was very curious. Either there's a lot of food over there, or that's where my sister is. Honestly, it can go either way. Or that's where they have a bunch of food. Again, seagulls love to congregate near food. Well, we could launch rocks at the... Oh, you have a plan? What is it? I love how he reacts to when after he's already inside the barrel. Are you sure about this? Oh boy. At least they waved goodbye. How do I stick the light? Ding. Ow. You know, I'm surprised I didn't knock him unconscious, because I should honestly be drowning right now. But welcome to the Forsaken Fortress. Our first, I guess, dungeon of the game. I don't really consider this a dungeon too much, but it technically is. Alright, so that was kind of a crapshoot. Yeah, a little bit. I hit a wall. See, if this were me playing Fallout, it would have been reverse pickpocketing a grenade. Needless to say, I can be a dick in some games. Pretty well. I mean, you'd think you'd give me some sort of compensation for nearly, causing me to die, but whatever. Anyway, you can use these barrels to hide from the searchlights. If you get caught by the searchlight, you will get thrown into jail. There is another stipulation that if you get caught by a moblin, you will be thrown into a jail cell as well. So pretty much we are, solid Link. Huh. Doesn't roll off the tongue. Oh well. Either way, you can use the barrels to move around. What we're going to be doing and what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to disable one specific spotlight, but for the sake of this LP, we'll be disabling all 3 of these searchlights. Pretty much this entire part is going to be just a dungeon, and it looks like Tetra has to tell you something to me. Ooh, that's very handy. So yes, one thing that you can do, oftentimes enemies like bokoblins or moblins will have weapons. You can use your shield to try and deflect the weapons, and depending on what type it is, the weapon can fly out of their hands. There's also some Deku sticks right over here if you want to use those as weapons. Or you could do what I'm doing, and you could be trying to throw the pot at this bokoblin. Sadly though, unlike A Link to the Past, this will not kill enemies in one hit. But it was hilarious. Anyway, one thing about enemies to keep in mind is that if there are weapons around and it's the type of enemy that can usually carry a weapon, the first thing they'll do, besides usually doing a counterattack, would be to look for the nearest weapon. So in this case, that bokoblin was looking for a Deku stick that had fallen on the ground since it dropped its own one. But pretty much that's it. Now, in terms of collectibles inside of this dungeon, there's only one, and that is one piece of heart. We will be going after that piece of heart inside this video, but I need to explain how I'm going to be handling dungeons generally in this game. Generally, I'm going to be doing it one full episode is going to be a full dungeon. A lot of this game is going to have a lot of longer parts to it than most other LPs. That is because I lose track of time when playing this game, and there's certain things that you would think don't take long, but unfortunately do. This would be mitigated for some of the instances if I were playing the HD version, but honestly, I prefer the SD version because I don't like the copious amounts of bloom that the HD version adds in some areas. Alright, so we got another bokoblin right here, which means we need to find the pot, which means I just went into the complete roundabout way of doing this. I literally am just going the complete roundabout way of doing this. And, as always, I'm going to be throwing this pot at this bokoblin. So, buddy. Oh, I missed. Well, guess what? I can pull out my shield if I remember that I can hit the B button and pop. As you can see, he drops the weapon and he goes after his next one. Ow. Ow. I am just getting wrecked here. Come on, try it again. Watch what happens. Oh, silly bokoblin. Ow. Okay, for a second I thought I was gonna get hit there, but instead I just hit him and what looked like it didn't. It looked like it was gonna hurt. But there we go, that takes care of another one of the searchlight, which means there is only one left. Really, if you know what you're doing, this dungeon can be done pretty fast. Unfortunately, I do take a little bit for this one, I will admit, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be setting up routes for when we eventually come back to the Forsaken Fortress, which isn't going to be until way later in the game. We aren't going to be coming back here until well around a little bit close to the halfway point of the game, in all honesty. Wind Waker, when you know what you're doing, is actually an extremely short game, but at the same time, since I am going for near 100%, it's going to be a little bit longer. The only reason why I'm not going for full 100% is because getting all the figures is just a pain. Then again, what I'm doing isn't easier either. All right, so we've got a box. Let's go out here and see where we are in relationship to it. All right, so we have to go inside there, and then we can go up to that door. So, let's see what Tetra wants. Yeah, I got that. I have a map too for some odd reason, despite the fact that I've not opened up the map box. Yeah, the Forsaken Fortress sort of gives you a map because it treats this area more like an island than anything else, which is odd. Anyway, I'm gonna go and shut off that other searchlight. I don't need to because I believe I've turned off the searchlight that would get you in trouble if you were to get through the rest of this dungeon without... Okay, let me try and rephrase that because that just sounded absolutely horrible. There's one searchlight that was pointed towards the window where your sister is being held. That searchlight will spot you each time if you do not disable it, which is what I ended up doing. But what I'm also doing is I'm deciding I want to disable the other searchlights. But we have a chest right here, so let's open this up. And we get the compass. Now you can see where things are hidden in the dungeon. Compasses are useful for helping you find out which floors the bosses are on and where treasure chests are. As you can see, there is one right over there. I believe the one that's right over there is actually going to be the map of this place, but I don't need it. And I fell, which means... mini blins. The most annoying of enemies. Mini blins. I hate these things so much because it sounds like they're saying a racial slur. But that is besides the point. I also hate them because they can climb up any walls and generally are just a pain. Such as this one who just clipped through the floor. That was rather amazing. Guess what? I am going to be getting this and... come on, Mini Blin, die. I just hate mini blins so much. They're so annoying because they swarm you. And usually, they never end. What do I mean by that? If there's a mini blin, there's generally a swarm of them. And in most of the areas in the game where mini blins spawn, they don't stop. There's only one place I can think of where mini blins will stop. Then again, I've not gone out of my way to go on a mini blin genocide. Because despite me hating them so much, I just rather avoid them. Anyway, as you can see, the searchlight that I was talking about has been shut off, but we have another searchlight right over here, so why don't we go and turn this one off once I figure out how to ladder. Come on, Pokemon White, I couldn't figure out how to door. Now I can't figure out how to ladder. It's not that hard, Roxas. All you have to do is just go up to the ladder and hold up. All right, so we've got another Bokoblin here. Let's find the pod. I'm doing this in the complete roundabout way yet again. Yeesh, I am not good with this. Right, grab that. And this time, let's not hit the side. Let's hit the actual Bokoblin. There we go. That was an amazing dancing stick. And it seems that's what he's going for. He's going for the amazing dancing stick. Stop him. There we go. Now, one thing I wish that these Bokoblins would drop, but they don't drop them inside the Forsaken Fortress, to my knowledge, are joy pendants. I ended up explaining that Bokoblins end up dropping what are known as joy pendants, and they're used for a side quest. For some odd reason, the first time you go to the Forsaken Fortress, they will not drop them at all, which is rather irritating. I would personally prefer that they did drop it, but unfortunately they don't. What I was doing right there was I was trying to remember, okay, what's the best way to get to the piece of heart? Because that's the next thing we're gonna go after, because pretty much everything inside this place has been set up. So let's go look at our map. And what I gotta do is, we gotta go across, but then I realized, wait a minute. I'm not going the right way, am I? Oh wait, no, I remember what I'm doing right now. There is a shortcut right here that you can end up doing that I'm setting up, so then we can go after the piece of heart and then get through here without having to go through all those doors again. Push this box down right here, and then you can push it under that ladder. So then once we end up getting the piece of heart, we can simply just go back this way, backtrack, and get to the top again without having to go through all those doors. Believe me, setting up for all this is very beneficial, and what I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna grab these red rupees. We're already almost maxed to our wallet again. Not that that really matters. I mean, with 200 rupees, there isn't much we're gonna be buying, but as I mentioned before, you are gonna want at least 80 rupees for some things. But now we're on the first floor, and this is how we get to the next area. We have to do some more Metal Gear linking. And in this way, we have to go the opposite way, away from those moblins right over there. Watch out for moblins when you have a sword and when you don't have a sword. There are two reasons for that. When you have a sword, those things hit hard. When you don't, as in this point right here, if a moblin sees you, pretty much they'll throw their lantern at you, or they will usually end up catching you and they will throw you in jail. So pretty much we have to do that. And I almost get caught right here. How does that happen? Right there. My heart jumped a little bit because I almost got caught by those that moblin right there. And if I got caught, I would have been thrown in jail, would have had to escape, and then would have to go all the way through here again to get to the piece of heart. The piece of heart's gonna be at the end of this corridor in the chest that we can see on the map, but what I have to do is I have to wait for the moblins to get out of the way because these things are dumb as rocks. I mean, they will run right through you and sniff right through you because clipping in this game is very, very bad. But you'll never get caught as long as you don't move while they are moving as well. And I should stress, for those who've never played Wind Waker before or want to play, say, the HD version where you have to do this as well, don't worry, this is the only section in the game that is a mandatory stealth section like this. There is one other stealth section in the game, but that is a side quest to get you a bottle. And that's pretty much it. This is all you have to do. This is the only time you're gonna be unarmed without your sword. So you do not need to worry. I don't know why they added this in, but I guess to change up the pace a little bit. But either way, open up this chest and we'll get ourselves our first piece of heart. Collect 4 of these and you will get 1 full heart container, increasing your health by a maximum of 1. So that's 1 down, we have 3 to go. So now let's cut back to where we were and climb up the ladder so then we can get to the end of the Forsaken Fortress. All right, ow. Way to go, Link, ran straight into a wall. Way to go, me, you controlled Link and had him bash his cute little head straight into a wall. All right, so we're just about at the end of the mandatory stealth section. So there's a barrel right here. What we need to do is go through that door and then we can get to the top of the tower and we will be done. Like I said, the Forsaken Fortress is not long. The only real dungeon so far that I have recorded with that has taken me a long time is technically, if you count this as a dungeon, that would be the 3rd dungeon. But again, I don't count this as a dungeon. It doesn't have the dungeon feel to it. This feels more like mandatory stealth section that I just have to play because I have to save my sister. But either way, let us go up right here. There is 1 more moblin, so be careful. There is 1 more moblin that is around here that can see you, and believe me, if you get caught when you're up here, it's painful to have to go all the way back through that. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the last moblin. So let us wait for this pig man to sniff around and then we can get through. And it's right here that I'm realizing, oh no, did I screw myself over right here? Because if he stops right here and just instantly turns around, then I'm stuck. All right, I don't want to move when he's right next to me. Don't want to get burned because he will burn the barrel that you're in if he sees you, which is kind of funny. Now, one thing that moblins drop are the skull necklaces that they are currently wearing. They are used for a side quest that will get you a piece of heart later in the game. At the same time, they are also used for a good source of money, apparently. That's according to the in-game universe. Those things look gaudy as all can be, but apparently they're worth quite a bit. So, let's go through. And I should mention, this moblin has a very large, distance of sight. As in, if I were to get out of the barrel right now, he would see me. He would run all the way towards me. I wouldn't be able to move, and I'd get sent into jail. I've seen that happen in the HD version. It's happened to me in the standard definition version, so you need to watch out. But there we go. That deals with all the mandatory stealth. So what we need to do right now is, before we finish up the Forsaken Fortress, we're gonna set up something else that's gonna be very beneficial when it comes to the second visit to the Forsaken Fortress, because everything you do right here will stay in place come the second visit. I can't emphasize that enough. And that is setting up this little route right here. Makes life so much easier. All right, so that sets that up, which means now it's time for us to get to the top of the fortress and go and rescue our sister. This will be the shortest Zelda game by far. I mean, so short we don't even need to see Zelda. All right, so let's go up and sidle our way across the wall. Yes, I said sidle. That is what this game says. See? Or Seidel, if you want to say it that way. I call it Siddle. Something's telling me it was supposed to be slide, because that's pretty much what we're doing. We're sliding along the edge, which takes forever, mind you. And playing this at the same time as Sonic Unleashed, oh boy. You get a bit used to the fact that Sonic and Sonic Unleashed can slide a lot faster. All right, so let's grab these hearts right here. These are here in case you need them. I usually don't because nothing can hurt me besides the mini blins. Kiss it, mini blins. But there we go. We are now home free, so let's get our sword back. And then put a chain on it so we never lose it again. Uh-oh. Maybe we shouldn't have been so joyful around this bokoblin, but we dropped the hero sword and now we have it back, which means we can defend ourselves. And this man has a giant sword. I want that sword. Give me that sword, buddy. Come on, give me this sword. Mine. Mine. You want this? You want this? You want this? Die. My sword. Can I just carry this thing around with me? It does a lot of damage. It does a lot more damage than my actual sword. Yeah, that's something you'll notice in this game. Your hero sword doesn't do jack to anything. But let's go and save our sister now. We'll talk about swords later. Oh, there's our sister. What's that noise? Oh no, bigger bird! The Helmrock King. And I look like a grub, I just realized. That moment when you realize you look like a grub and you're going against a giant bird. Well, this didn't go according to plan in the slightest. I don't even know how this thing heard me. Then again, I did sort of put out all these searchlights, so maybe it noticed something. Oh boy. This is just not Link's day, is it?